Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fishing Blog number 187. And the reason why it's going up a little bit late on Sunday is it's incredibly hot here at the moment. And last night when I normally do my voiceovers, it was, I think, 42 with the Humidex, and I just didn't want to turn off the fan because we don't have AC, and I certainly didn't want to close the windows or anything. And I waited till Sunday morning to do this, and when it's a little bit cooler. And for those of you who still believe in weather forecasts and whatnot, apparently this is all supposed to break, and it's going to be down into hopefully the mid-20s tomorrow. Well, we'll see how that goes. So while I've been babbling on here, those were the hat borley I fried, doing really well. And the tank beside them, there was another female holding. She's hiding behind the filter, so I couldn't really get a good look at her. But anyway, they're doing well, and as you can see, that batch of OB zebras is doing really well too. And it is one of the few fish that I've put in with Gardner Achilles that the Achilles just don't torment because, well, they're Africans. They're used to being tormented, and they know how to defend themselves. Unfortunately, this is not a long-term solution, of course, because once they get a little bit older, the Achilles aren't going to do well at all with them, so they're all going to get separated out, because remember, I want to save that tank for guppy fry anyway, so that all needs to be rearranged. Here's my mystery fish, obviously Gardner Achilles at this point, doing really quite well in here, and I'm going to obviously raise him up, and we'll see what we end up with. I kept meaning to do a video, and the reason for the video was, are fish racist? The reason this came to my mind at all is, I mean, I've been maintaining aquariums for people for a long time, and every time I set up an aquarium, like Africans and that sort of stuff, or even guppies, gradually over time, you ended up with a specific color showing up more than all the others, and depending on what it was. I always thought that they just outbred each other. But lately, I've been watching this tank here specifically, and those fry coming out that I've been saving, and there are different color forms coming out, and I was thinking that maybe there's a bit more to this, because, well, here's a guppy tank, and as you can see, it is 90% yellow. I mean, that could just be breeding. But as we're going to pan over to the next tank over, which is my Tuxedo variatus, that used to be a mixed colony, and now it is specifically tuxedos, and those fry I'm pulling out aren't exactly the same, but all the fry that end up getting to this age look exactly like this. So I'm going to raise those fry up. I'm going to get that other fry you saw out of there and a few more. I'm going to start raising them separately. And I'm going to see if there is a little bit more to this besides just out competing each other in the purely, reproductive way. Something else might be going on, so I'll keep you updated on that. Anyway, regardless, they're lovely fish, and they're doing really quite well. I'm very happy with this colony, and I am going to, start breeding them more, of course. This is supposed to be my white cloud breeding setup. These are Gardner Achilles. They've been in here now for a couple of weeks, and I am going to pull them out shortly, I think, or I might wait till I see a fry. I'm not sure which yet. But yeah, I want to get some more Gardner Achilles going, because the problem with Gardner Achilles is they're not very long-lived, and if I don't pay attention, like I get really busy like I do, it could end up with, well, they're too old to breed, and I don't want that to happen, so I want to make sure it gets at least another generation going here before we get to that point. That tank needs to have that filter cleaned. I do have a video coming up showing how easy it is to clean these box filters, which is one of the main reasons why I like them, besides their efficiency. I do like how they clean the tank and how little time it takes to clean them. It's going to be a real short video, obviously, but anyway, it's something I have in the works coming up. All the guppies are doing really well. They obviously need to be culled out and also have, well, thinned out is the other thing, of course, as well. They want to do a little bit more selective breeding for these. Not a lot, but some. And this is still going on. I didn't pull the hornwort out of the filter yet. It's just bizarre. I can't explain it. Obviously, it has exactly the same water, exactly the same lighting, except maybe a little bit filtered out by the 1/8 inch of acrylic that's there. But that's it, right? That's all this difference between the Hornwort thriving on the right and not thriving on the left is a 1/8 inch thick piece of acrylic. So interesting. Anyway, I'm going to fiddle around with that a little bit more. Showing you this tank because I never show it to you, because normally it is just an ugly mess because it's a storage tank and I never deal with it. But I'm in the process now of cleaning this tank and the tank below it, because I want to get the 3 7-footers into more of a production mode, because it's an awful lot of space to have when you just have a handful of, well, Johanna here and OB zebras above. And it needs to do a little bit more, so I'm going to work on that. And also the other thing you're going to see in a little bit, I have all those OB fry that are getting bigger. And I have to figure out how I'm going to divide this all up so they can all have space, because if I throw those fry in here, I don't think these guys are going to do well with those adults. I'm not sure, because it's difficult to tell sometimes. If you add enough, usually it's not a problem, especially if I remove all the territories. But I don't really want to risk it. Spend a lot of time, well, 2 months, raising these guys, and I just don't want them to see them get killed. So they've bred again. This time not so bad, because there's only, I think, maybe 6 fry. I think she was in the process of still trying to get rid of her last batch and wasn't quite ready to breed yet, but did anyway. So anyways, this is a small batch, so it's not going to be a big issue trying to find, they'll probably just throw these guys in with where I put the other ones. So this is getting cleaned up a bit more. And before I forget, there's going to be a little part of this clip a little bit later is going to show you part of what I'm doing for culturing. Thank you very much for your interest in that culturing video I did, and I do plan on going through the whole process. There's enough interest for sure. So I'm going to restart. You're going to see it here in a second. Here it is. I'm going to restart this, go through the whole process, what I choose, why, and all that sort of stuff, various foods, and going to show you how to, well, isolate your own cultures of whatever you want. I mean, I'll mostly focus on the micros because, well, it is what I'm interested in. It's the macro culturing. By the way, I really like that Anubias is doing really well. The macros are easier. I have lots of scuds which are normally called Gramaris. They do really well. They're easy to culture. Not the same thing as culturing small things like Paramecium and Cyclopses. I'm not going to bother doing any Daphnia this time. I will go through the process of telling you the pros and cons, and of course also well, what you could use, but then again, I'm not really the best one to say that, because I have tried a number of different things, and I get them to work, and then they crash, and then we go through that whole process all over again. Might just be my source, which is, well, northern climate Daphnia, which don't do well long term. They do need a downtime. But anyway, we'll go through all that, and again, like I said, thank you for your interest in all that. And again, while I've been babbling, I have been cleaning up the pond because I want to start breeding the white clouds. So anyway, thank you for your interest. Leave comments, let me know what you think about this, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.